4 parts to my presentation today, and one of those parts will be interactive. First, I want to say to the Fatherhood Initiative, to Al Grimes, and all of you that are here, I am so glad to participate in the 14th Annual Fatherhood Conference. I've been on the bench now 18 years and 14 years with the Fatherhood Initiative, if not more. And I guess I don't feel a day over, 18 and a half. One of the things that I have realized, particularly these last couple of years, is that all of the work of the Fatherhood Initiative is bearing fruit. That fathers are coming forward and they are establishing their relationships and securing their rights and their responsibilities to their children. And I could not be happier. If you've been to these conferences before, you've heard me confess, I am 58% my mother, but I am 52% my father. And I would not be a whole person without them both. But when I was 18 years of age, just a half a year ago, when I was 18 years of age, my parents separated and subsequently divorced, leaving my 2 brothers and I to live primarily with my mother, but having ongoing contact, visitation, extended visitation, summer visitation, because if my father's job hadn't transferred him to Cleveland, I wouldn't know you. And I wouldn't have gone to law school at Case Western Reserve. And I wouldn't have found a home here. See, but for my father. And so, with the divorce and eventually becoming a lawyer, working as a magistrate at the Domestic Relations Court, a lot of the work focused on life after separation. And so the custody cases that are now being presented to me at the juvenile court, I first have to say, understanding the dispute, understanding the tension, understanding that we're trying to accomplish something. But I have to set a tone. Not a relationship, not a healing, not a can I fix your past, can I take away all those years that you were absent. I just have to set a tone. And the tone that I set is this. I start with, so you've decided to have children and to raise them in separate households. What was your plan? What was your plan? And that's where we begin our planning for raising our children in their separate households. So they have 48 to 52% of their mother and 48 to 52% of their father. But in exploring this issue, as Reverend Gibson has said about me, as much as I care about the children, I care about the parents. I've never seen a child successfully succeed without the support of a parent. And so I'm looking at parents in terms of, sometimes, what do I need to do for you? What do I need to do for you? Here's the interactive part. For the men who have attended this conference 10 or more years, I need you to stand up. For the men in the room who have raised all of their children to adulthood, please stand up. Now, gentlemen, I have a very special task for you. Be seated. For the men in the room who are fathers, who did not have a father, please stand up. Thank you. You may be seated. Let me tell you why this is important. I'm meeting now a lot of young men who have never had fathers, who are fathers, who don't know how to be fathers. They only know that because I did not have a father, I want to be a father to my child. The only long-term growing relationship that I've had is with my own family. It included my mother. Maybe it included my auntie. Maybe it included my grandmother. Maybe it included my uncle. It might have included my cousin or my nephew. But it didn't include my father. And so all the pieces that are missing from them not seeing how their father fathered in order to father their own is impactful in their ability to co-parent with their children's mother to raise these children. It's very difficult to co-parent if you've never seen two people, even if they lived in two separate households. How about compromise? How about work together? Being able to say, your father will be here at 5 o'clock. You need to get your shoes on. To know sacrifice, to see sacrifice. I didn't do that overtime today because this is our day, this is our weekend. I need you to go with me to the job because we didn't get to that lawn yesterday. We got to do it on Saturday. And we're going to finish this work and then we will play. To understand or somehow be able to cope or have coping skills with a woman's emotions, somebody who's been hurt, somebody who's been disappointed, someone who will use what they have to get what they want, including punish you. How do you cope with that? How do you de-escalate that? How do you soothe that in order to get her to understand, I see you, I understand you, but let me take the baby. And we'll continue to work on that. Trust. How do you trust? When somebody looked at your Facebook page and saw you dancing with somebody else, there's a whole bunch of drama for some unmarried circumstances. I told one person, I said, even I don't look at my husband's Facebook and he don't look at mine. Because you have to be prepared to deal with what you might see.
Amen.
So I asked the men who had been here 10 or more years, I had asked the men who had raised their children to adulthood to be seen. Because I need the Fatherhood Initiative to seek out dads without dads and help them to be sons who are now fathers. Dads need dads too. And I think if we can move that out, that extra part of ourselves, we would find all of the things that Mr. Grimes talked about for our children, not only manifesting for our children, but for our neighbors' children. Remember, it's the neighbors' children that your children play with, go to school with, at the mall with, out after curfew with. We are the village. But there are some dads who need dads. And I need you to come forward and be that. And so on this 14th annual celebration, Mr. Grimes, I'm calling out a new initiative. I need some dads for some people who haven't had dads so that they can be better fathers. The last thing that I want to say is this, because this is something that's near and dear to my heart, and just breaks it as an American, as a descendant of Africans who were brought to this country, who were separated from their parents. I am part of a sorority, Delta Sigma Theta sorority, ask Meredith. And part of our public service objective includes social action. I may not say the quote correctly, but you know my heart when there is injustice anywhere.
Thank you.
There is injustice everywhere.
That's the point.
Find a piece of paper, send it to our representatives. That separation of immigrant children from their parents is wrong. And if fathers don't speak up for fathers, who will speak up for you? If fathers don't speak up for fathers, how will your women trust you? Take action, fathers. The world is changing. Change it in the way that you want it to go. This is an initiative. You've committed to this. Don't let anything take away your right, your responsibility, your privilege, your honor, your name as a father. And if you respect another man for that, then respect everyone's right to that.